Clouds. I'd said decisively, let's go. Decisiveness gave Ike confidence and the ability to recognize key factors and finalize difficult decisions. Ultimately, he obtained victory. Now let's set all political views aside and imagine there are no parties. Franklin Delano Roosevelt was president when Pearl Harbor was attacked by the Japanese. George W. Bush was president when al-Qaeda terrorists attacked civilian as well as military bases on 9/11. Both of these leaders were given reports of thousands killed. They now had to face a decision: either rebuild what was destroyed and forgive those who had persecuted them, or get the nation back upon its feet and defend what has been ours for centuries, and that is life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We are fortunate enough to have had leaders who pursued those who threatened our American principles and way of life. A leader must be decisive and bold. They must have the confidence to accomplish goals at the right time, regardless of the opposition. They must be able to know themselves before they can lead others. A leader brings hope to those that are lost and rebuilds their confidence. Excuse me if this sounds just like another presidential ad, but I assure you I'm not running for president yet. We must look to our nation's founding documents, the Declaration and the Constitution, to fully understand what our values and principles are. Some people may say, times change and the Constitution doesn't relate to us anymore. Well, yes, times change. But answer this: do principles change? We still need leaders who are wise, who are faithful, courageous, decisive, responsible. Abraham Lincoln stated, "You cannot escape the responsibility of tomorrow by evading it today." America needs new leaders to step forward and lead, especially now in this age of mediocrity and faint-heartedness. Strengthen your character and principles through education and action. Reflect on what your values are and the elements required for leadership. Fellow Americans, it is such that when leaders with great values and principles sacrifice for their country, the greatness of America can be found. Helping us grow into young men, into leaders. Why do people like Bill Wilson and Al Coleman sacrifice personal gain to lead and serve others? This question could spawn a debate for hours, but I will suggest that at the core of leaders like these is a strong set of convictions, a belief that the impact they will have on the lives of those they lead will have a ripple effect, changing the world around them. What can we learn from these men? John C. Maxwell once said, "A leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way." All around us are opportunities for leadership. The answers to these challenges are usually easy to know. But who among us will be willing to go and to show the way to others? Our country and the spirit that makes our nation great were forged out of this kind of leadership. But today, our country is in crisis. A war against apathy, despair, and fear. Now is the time to awaken the leader within yourself. Look behind you. What do you see? Many are waiting for a leader to simply show them the way. Mother Teresa once said, "Do not wait for a leader. Do it alone. Person to person." Now when you think of great leaders, who comes to mind? Parent? Teacher? Grandparent? Maybe a coach? I hope one day, when this question is asked, your name and mine.
Trusted her, and they did the work efficiently. Cardigan showed true leadership because she recognized her workers. So let's move to the second component of leadership, communication. Communication is the key to winning organizational trust and confidence. I mean, we can look at Howard Schultz. Howard Schultz graduated from Northern Michigan University with this idea: better coffee, a better atmosphere, and better service. And so his first business was 4 employees in his garage. But uniquely, he met with each of these 4 employees one-on-one every day. And eventually, his business grew to 100 employees. But the same concept prevailed. Every single one got a one-on-one at least once a week. And the result? Howard Schultz went on to found Starbucks Incorporated, perhaps the most popular chain of coffee in the entire world, because he stressed communication as a form of leadership. Ladies and gentlemen, the strength derived from the previous two concepts, shows the unique creativity that's built from leadership. And we can see from corporate America, but what about American history? Well, let's look at the United States Air Force. The United States Air Force is commanding our skies right now, but almost paradoxically, it wasn't always like that. In the aftermath of World War II, our United States Air Force was in shambles. Nobody trusted each other. Nobody worked together. And so in 1978, a man named General Bill Creech stepped in. And Bill Creech preached these two concepts of teamwork, of motivation. He recognized the strength in numbers of a well-oiled machine. And thus he told his workers to work together, to talk to each other, to play off of each other's strengths. And you know what happened? The United States Air Force surged from the 13th strongest force in the world to the strongest force in the world, which is precisely where we are today. All because of the concepts of people and the concepts of communication. Ladies and gentlemen, we can see how revolutionary the past two concepts, people and communication, are in building strength and diversity. That is the power of leadership. And as I leave you, I want to leave you with this one challenge. And I challenge you to look within your own town, your own community, and see how you can use the concepts of people and communication to build a better world for all of us to live in.
Atmosphere in the workplace. Then in 2005, the U.S. government gave Jim Sturtevant a special Excellence in Leadership Award. A third way that a sense of humor can help a leader is by helping him to inspire and instruct those around him. For example, my orchestra conductor. He's a good musician, but to me his greatest talent may lie in the way he uses humor to help us understand music. Sometimes he'll take out Barbara, his pet metronome, and show us a difficult rhythm by dancing on the podium. I've noticed that after he's demonstrated rhythm or some other concept in his humorous way, nobody ever forgets it. Anybody else have a teacher that inspired you? There you go, he's amazed. See, I'd be willing to bet that that teacher was the one who made you laugh, who was creative and humorous in their approach to a subject. So why do I keep using leadership and humor in the same sentence? By now I hope you see you can't really have one without the other. I believe a good sense of humor helps a leader to stay down to earth, to foster a culture of creativity, and to inspire those around him. All told, I think you can make a heavy case for the lighter side of leadership. But you don't have to be a comedian to be an effective leader. Just start pointing out the humor in a sticky situation. Serve up some fun when others need it most. And learn from the masters of humor and leadership, like Ronald Reagan with his famous one-liners. You know, it seemed like no matter how tense the situation, President Reagan could always save the day with a humorous word or gesture. Former Attorney General Ed Meese remembers that when people started arguing during a cabinet meeting, President Reagan would just produce a jar of jelly beans. He'd eat a few, and he'd pass the jar around. As Mr. Meese remembers it, nobody could get very angry if they were chomping on jelly beans. So don't underestimate the potential of leadership through jelly beans. Or silly skits, or even metronomes named Barbara. Folks, I wouldn't advise you to eat bald eagle or whooping crane. But other than that, it's open season.